Sarah was 28 years old, sitting on her bedroom floor with a laptop and a bowl of cereal she forgot to eat. On the screen, a house listing, $389,000. 3 bedrooms, a yard, a neighborhood she recognized. She refreshed it twice, like maybe the price would change. She made $51,000 a year, had $9,000 saved, and a student loan that reminded her of its existence every single month. She closed the laptop. She told herself, "Not yet. I'm not ready. I'll wait until things make more sense." Here is what she didn't know that night. Waiting was the most expensive decision she ever almost made. Welcome to Wealth Simplify, where we make money simple enough for anyone to understand. Stick around and watch this whole video, because if you skip even one part, you will miss something important. While you're here, consider subscribing and giving this video a like. It tells the YouTube algorithm that you're serious about improving your money, and YouTube will start showing you more content like this that actually helps you succeed. You found this video for a reason, so make it count. Here is the trap that catches most people. They look at real estate the way Sarah looked at that listing, as a price tag, as something they have to afford, as a finish line they haven't crossed yet, and so they do what feels responsible. They save more, they wait, they watch the market like it owes them a better number. Meanwhile, a guy named Marcus, same age as Sarah, same city, similar income, was looking at that same market and seeing something completely different. Marcus wasn't thinking about whether he could afford to buy a house to live in. He was thinking about whether he could afford to buy a house that paid for itself. That one mental shift, that one reframe is worth more than any savings account. Because Sarah was thinking like a buyer. Marcus was thinking like an investor. And here's the thing. Those two people can look at the exact same property in the exact same neighborhood on the exact same Tuesday afternoon and see two entirely different things. One sees a cost. The other sees a machine. Marcus heard about a property through someone at work. Not a slick real estate seminar, not an online listing, just a conversation in a break room. A woman's uncle was selling a duplex. 2 units, both rented. He needed to sell before the end of the year. He was pricing it to move, $211,000. Marcus ran the numbers on his phone during lunch. The 2 units together brought in $2,050 a month in rent. His mortgage, at the rate he was quoted, would be about $1,130 a month. After insurance, taxes, and putting a little aside for repairs, he'd clear roughly $450 a month. Not a fortune, but also not nothing. Because here's the part that changed everything for Marcus. He wasn't the one paying that mortgage. 2 tenants he had never met were paying it for him, every month, automatically, while he slept. He put $42,000 down. That was almost everything he had. His savings account dropped to nearly zero. He told his friend about it. His friend said, "That sounds risky. You sure about this?" Marcus said, "I'm sure. I'm tired of my rent going to someone else's net worth." He closed the deal. Here is the first thing Marcus understood that Sarah didn't yet. Real estate, when used correctly, is not a purchase. It is a vehicle. Think of it this way. A car takes you from where you are to where you want to go. It burns gas, it needs maintenance, but it moves you forward. That duplex was Marcus's first vehicle. It was imperfect. The water heater broke 4 months in. He fixed it himself and learned more about plumbing that weekend than he ever expected to know. A tenant paid late twice, but she always paid. The gutters needed cleaning. The lawn needed mowing. None of that was glamorous. None of that made for a good Instagram post. But every single month, the mortgage got paid. His equity grew, and his financial position moved forward, not because he got lucky, but because he made a specific, uncomfortable, intentional decision. And on the other side of the city, Sarah was still waiting. 2 years later, something changed for Sarah. She called Marcus, they'd stayed in touch, and asked him how it was going. He told her about the duplex, the equity, the cash flow, the way he'd started to see properties differently. She asked him, "But what if something breaks? What if a tenant stops paying? What if the market drops?" And Marcus said something she'd think about for weeks. What's the cost of waiting? Because while you're protecting yourself from every possible downside, the only guaranteed outcome is that nothing changes. She didn't buy a duplex the next day, but she started studying. She learned what cap rate means. It's basically the annual return a property produces before you account for financing. She learned about debt service coverage, about what lenders actually look at. She drove neighborhoods. She talked to a local real estate agent who worked with investors. 6 months later, she found a small single-family rental, 3 bedrooms, a solid neighborhood, a motivated seller, for $194,000. She put 20% down, $38,800. The rent she charged covered the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and left her $390 a month. Was it perfect? No. Did she feel terrified the day she signed the papers? Absolutely. But for the first time, someone else was paying her mortgage, and the math was running in her direction. Here's where the story gets interesting, because Marcus didn't stop at one property, and neither did Sarah. 2 years after buying her first rental, Sarah refinanced and pulled out equity. She used it as a down payment on a duplex, just like Marcus had done years before. Now she had 3 units. Marcus, by his mid-30s, had grown into a small portfolio of properties across 2 markets. His real estate income had crossed his salary. He didn't announce it on social media. He didn't quit his job dramatically. He told his spouse over dinner on a Tuesday. And Sarah, who once sat on a bedroom floor convinced she'd never be able to afford a home, now owned properties that were quietly building her wealth every single month, whether she was thinking about them or not. The secret wasn't genius. It wasn't luck. It was the decision to stop seeing real estate as a wall and start seeing it as a ladder. So what are the actual lessons here? Rule 1. The moment you stop thinking about real estate as a cost and start thinking about it as a vehicle, the whole road changes. Rule 2. The house someone else pays for is the only house that makes you richer while you sleep. Cash flow isn't glamorous, it's powerful. Rule 3. Discomfort is not a signal to stop, it's the tuition. Every broken appliance and late rent payment is a lesson that no book can teach you. Rule 4. The person waiting for the perfect moment is still waiting. Rates fluctuate. Markets move. The window does not stay open forever, and it rarely announces itself. The biggest risk in real estate is almost never the deal you get into. It's the years you spent doing nothing while you waited to feel ready. Right now, somewhere in your city, there is a duplex, a small rental house, a motivated seller who needs to close before the end of the year. There is a version of you in 10 years who either made a decision or didn't. Both of those people started in the exact same place. The difference is a phone call, a spreadsheet run on a Tuesday night, a down payment that takes you to zero and puts you on a completely different path. Sarah made that call. Marcus made that call. The question isn't whether the moment is perfect. The question is, what does the next decade look like if you keep waiting for it to be? If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Wealth Simplify if you haven't already, and drop a comment below. Are you a Sarah, a Marcus, or still figuring out which one you want to be? I will see you in the next one.